What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Pinpointe Unfiltered. I'm Rachel.
And it's your boy, Josh, the realtor of realtors. How's everybody doing today? Today we have two amazing guests. Rachel, who are these people?
We have Danielle Volpe and Joe Hladki. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks for having us.
I don't have sound effects yet. We're on a budget,
don't
so
have.
you just work with me.
It's a rough budget.
Right, I can hit the background clapping. Two of my big realtors in the game.
Hey.
Actually, my
All right. You guys want to introduce yourselves to everybody so then they know who you are? Because after that, I think this conversation is going to go wild.
Yep. It's about to...
Joe, you want to...
After you, my friend.
Ladies first. All right, Danielle Volpe, Vice President of Business Development at New World Title. And we are a title company located here in New York, but we do Florida, Pennsylvania, Jersey, North Carolina, Ohio, Texas. We are nationwide.
Okay.
Damn.
That is
You guys
a
are
lot.
outside. I thought I was outside.
Can you just say like all 50 states? Like it's a lot faster.
All
It's
50
like,
states.
you got business, we can handle it. Forget about it.
We can handle it. We could sure handle it.
You want to talk about your other job,
The floor's
Danielle?
yours, Joe. The floor's
That
yours.
took no time. That took no time.
Shit.
I'm Joe Hladki, aka the life attorney, aka Joey the lawyer. I am the owner, operator, proprietor of Joe Hladki Jr. Esquire PC, aka the Hladki Law Group. I'm an attorney in New York. I've been practicing law for about 12 years. And main focus is real estate, commercial, residential, small business transactions, a decent sized criminal practice with then my offshoot counsel who are handling divorces, family court matters, personal injury matters, civil matters, estate planning, estate planning, and then, circuit court. So estate circuit court matters. I've tried to create a all-in-one law firm, right? Maybe we don't all work under my auspices, but we all work together. So that's why the life attorney is my brand. You need me, you can stay under one roof and we get the job done. I also do have an OnlyFans page.
Nice.
We will link that. We'll link that in the description.
Fantastic.
You don't want to miss that content.
I was just gonna say
This coming Friday, I'll be doing stand up
Danielle.
at the Cellar in New York City. Hey everyone.
For real? Is that a real thing? Or
No,
you
that's
just,
No.
No, you'll learn that nothing I say is probably.
I was gonna say, just like
true.
Danielle,
Forever.
you could have just said what you don't do. Like she starts naming all 50 states, you start naming every aspect of law. Just say, okay, this is what I don't do. I
He
do
does
everything
it
else.
all. He does it all.
Do you do immigration?
Okay, so here's what I do. I no longer run numbers. I no longer take bets. I mean, sorry. No,
Okay.
I will say, when you work with Joe, you have a good time doing it. And he knows what he's doing. Having a good team is super important.
Is that a double entendre?
I totally agree.
That's how he started his other profession with OnlyFans. Like, listen, you get enough feedback, you have to just jump in.
There was a want, right? There's a want in the marketplace, and you gotta fill the want, So,
Yeah, you gotta supply the need. Absolutely, yeah.
That's it.
Facts.
Absolutely.
That's what I said my dream was gonna be. I was like, look, if this real estate stuff goes wrong, back to the stripper pole. Like, fuck it.
You got to do what you got to do, Sometimes
my wife's gonna divorce me after. Thanks, guys. Guys, I gotta go. I'll talk to you later.
He's gonna need himself as a divorce attorney.
Josh,
That's
I'm calling
gonna
you a witness. Can't understand.
So how did you guys know each other?
We met a few years ago. I think I met you at a closing at your office, but funny enough, we grew up in the same neighborhood. We live in the same neighborhood now. We live. That's why we meet up at the local, Joe's local favorite bar. I won't say it out loud, but
it's a restaurant.
It is a restaurant. It's a restaurant.
You made it seem like it
My
was
favorite bar.
a no-no.
Where he used to run numbers.
I just don't want anybody to know where to find him. That's all. In case they're looking. No, but I believe we met at a closing at his office years back, and then we connected. We became friends, and we worked together on tons of real estate transactions. And Joe is always like my number one first guy I go to for referral. And if you happen to know any criminals, he does that also. But no, he's working with him is just fantastic. It's like, it's a good teamwork. And we work with the same teams a lot. And when I'm working with Joe, I mean, I know he's gonna answer my calls. I know he's gonna get back to me. I know the clients are always happy. So I always stress, like, having that good team that you can work with and go to. And he knows when it comes to title, he can call me at any time. I'll get him an answer. I'll pull strings to get things done. And when you have
Oh,
people
yeah,
like
recently.
that,
Yeah.
I'll drop everything for you. I always have. So, but it's good. You
I
need
love you, Dave.
those
You're the best.
teams. You need that team to work together with. And when you have that, it just makes everything flow. And I know you want to say something funny right now. You're holding it in.
I am. That's why you know me so. I mean, God, you're saying such nice things, and like nothing I'm gonna say in this whole thing is gonna be nice. I just feel bad. I feel
Right. I'm
bad now.
used
I
to it.
feel like
Don't worry. What? I bet you we get it out of him. He's gonna be. These are the guys that always become the tear jerkers. It's like,
no,
oh,
no. So, well, Dave, from the first moment I saw you, I loved you, and I can't know. Um, you know,
No, you were serious for a second.
uh,
There's the tears.
so you're definitely. I remember now. You're definitely right. I think I was selling, and you were on the buy side for the title, and then there was an attorney in the office that you knew, and
Yep.
that's how we all put all the pieces to the puzzle together. And ever since then, we just started rocking and rolling.
Yep. That's
And
it.
and I will give a couple of compliments, only a couple, because it goes to our heads, and then I got to fucking deal with that, and I can't. But um, honestly, Dee's work ethic, it's it's beyond a grade. It really is. She is answering the phone at 10, 11 o'clock at night. I've, God forbid I forgot something. God forbid there was something that, I reviewed and I meant to send an email out and I did it, and I can call her, and she's working the answers out at all hours of the night. She's hopping on phone calls with clients for me. You know, she's at the closings, doing the closings herself too. Not only she's the rep, but she's there. She knows what she's doing there. She's my second set of eyes on title docs, on the transfer docs, on mortgage docs. Like she has my back, and not just mine, but I'm sure with every attorney she works with, because that's her personality and that's her work ethic. And she's with a great title company. We've been doing a lot of deals together. Hopefully more. Now the rates are coming down a little bit.
I'm hoping. I'm
I
hoping
got two.
things are looking up.
I got two kids, and OnlyFans ain't paying that well. But
3 kids. I got mouths to feed.
I need some refis. I do a lot of bank work, so I need some refis, and then that's where me and Thea have rocked out in the past, where we know
Yeah.
what we're doing, and we're just it's a nice process, because no matter what, everyone says, "Oh, smooth process." I don't know about you guys. I've never had a smooth real estate process. There's always going to be a hiccup
It's
or a bump
unfortunate, but that's how
or
it
a,
is.
but listen, it could be just you ran over a hubcap in the middle of the road, or it could be a pothole that your car fucking flips over. But there's never. It's not saying it's never. It's never smooth though. That's what I'm trying to say. It's never smooth.
It's always
So
something.
when you know that you're working with the team that you have to, it's when you hit those little things, because they make it's just nice to know that, all right, we hit the pothole, we hit this. All right, I know D's gonna do this immediately. I know I'm already doing that. It's not like, oh, hey, did you see this? Because we already saw it, because we know how we work. So I'm
Right.
handling part B while D's handling part A.
Yep.
The realtors are handling part C. The lender is already on part D, and then we're just collaborating. We all know that we're already working. So when you have teams like that, it's about communication. But once you have teams that are working so long together, it's the communication that doesn't need to be had, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you have,
Problem?
like, built that rapport, right? So you just kinda, like, know what is needed on the other side, and you can
Yeah.
just already be prepared with it.
Yeah.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
and
I mean,
but like,
you
know that.
guys know, I'm sure, with any real estate transactions you've dealt with, and when you've had an attorney who's like super responsive, a title company who's on the ball, like, and that I always tell realtors, I'm like, it's okay to let the attorney choose a title company, obviously, but it's good for you to have a go-to title rep too, for any issues you have. This way you don't have to
Mhm.
wait for answers. So, and
For
again,
sure.
those are the teams we work with. We have the realtors we work with a lot. And Joe and the mortgage brokers we work with a lot. When you have those teams, it just makes life so much easier for everybody. And it reflects well upon you. When your
you know,
client can say, wow, you guys, that attorney was fantastic, Danielle, that you
Mhm.
referred me to. That realtor was amazing. And then you get more referrals, and that's how we build the business. But when you have referral reflects well upon you, I feel like that's the best thing that could possibly happen. That's why it's good to have
those are my favorite clients, the referrals. Those, like, that's when it's a different feeling when the return client is like absolute top tier, but the referral is just huge, because like you didn't have to see me online, you didn't have to like do that, but someone that you know and you trust like passed along my name, and that's like possibly like the best feeling.
it is.
Um
It's the best compliment. It's the best referral. leads to more referrals. It's the best.
It's the gift that keeps on giving, kind
It
of like
is.
the herp.
It is.
Oh.
No,
So guys, it was a great time. No, and I think both of you guys hit it on the head. We are like, which is why we like vibe so well together, because our like stance and our, our motivation has always been about the community and building a team, and we are only as good as the next person on our team, right? And
Absolutely.
you guys are included in this. When we like talk to clients, we're telling them like, hey, we have this type of person, this person, like in all aspects of the process, we have people in place that we've developed relationships with that are great individuals at what they do individually. And it's also amazing that you guys have such a Rolodex of jobs that we're like, listen, you don't even have to go over here, over here. Just like and subscribe, like for my man Joe. We're gonna promote that
joke,
OnlyFans.
Josh, because if it's messed up, my wife sees me, stop saying it. It's a joke one. Honey, it's a joke. He ran away. If I don't understand it, like I don't need this.
Make sure you put a
add Joey
link
the lawyer, subscribe
right above
$2.99
his
a month.
name.
I'm saying no.
Really good content. Really good content. But yeah, and like for instance, like last night I called Joe at like 9:00 at night. I'm like, I need an inspector to get to a house like immediately.
For work purposes only.
An inspector. Yes, an inspector. So I mean, and he
What kind of inspector though? I mean, I guess they could be all kinds of inspectors.
This is true. I should clarify. But yeah, I mean, he got it done immediately. He's like, connect me with the guy. I can get him there Friday. Like it was just, and
That's awesome.
That's the best.
It was exactly 9:29 p.m.
See,
okay.
I was trying.
This is his deposition.
Okay, so I was trying to have a conversation with the Lord, and you interrupted that, and you coaxed
came
me
through
into dropping everything for you. Okay, this is ridiculous.
As you always do. As you always do.
But it's funny, Josh. Your point too, and go back on a little bit. You said it's nice to have a team where you could, especially as the realtors, right? Because you guys are the hub. You guys are the, well, it should really be the mortgage broker, right? Because everyone should get pre-approval for it. People are going to the banks, to Chase, to we'll get to banks and lenders later, but mortgage brokers or mortgage bankers, that should be the first person they're really seeing. But first-time home buyers don't really know, so they don't know.
No, they usually come to us, but then we always refer them, and we always refer them to Allie. Like
because
you guys are our team.
Yeah, Allie's fantastic,
and Allie's phenomenal.
Oh,
what I'm saying is, so like they'll come to you without a pre-approval or some pre-approval from a bank from six, but you are the hub, right? So you're the dispensing party. It's always good to have a team, and the reality is, and listen, this is business. I know there's always going to be several people in the circle. There should be 2 or 3 lawyers. There should be 2 or 3 title companies. There should be 2 or 3 mortgage brokers, because the reality is my personality is very strong, right? So maybe I might not mix with some clientele. Maybe my personality is exactly what's needed, but that's having the right people around you. Circle shouldn't be too big, but it should be big enough.
Totally good.
Joey's a great lawyer. He's loud. He's this. Sometimes he curses. Mrs. Williams may not like him too much because of that. But Tommy's another great lawyer who does also great work, and he's a little bit more buttoned up, and he's, what, this one, Joey, gotta go with Tommy because you guys are going to clash. Thank you for knowing that already, because I don't want to clash. I'd rather not even start it, because then reputation stays intact, and you got, what I'm saying? So it's always good. So when we talk about circles and teams, respectfully, we all got to know there's probably 2 or 3 behind each player in the game, in that team, and they should be. But yeah, having the right people, the right, it makes jobs easier. It makes life easier because you know that you have someone to lean on a little bit too.
Yeah,
so
and
nice
it's just we like sports analogies here. So it's just like any good sports team, right? You have your starters, and then you have your bench.
Yep, absolutely.
Right? You got to have people come in at different.
And thank you for giving me the opportunity, because I know you guys are from the Bronx, but let's go Mets.
I'll let you slide. I pull for the Mets when they're not playing the Yankees, but I'm a Yankees fan.
Yankees ready, so I'm good, kid. No,
whatever. We're clawing our way in.
You guys always will claw, but then you.
I can't have 2 Bronx people on the show
Have a good one.
and let them, pump their chest out here. Don't worry, Met fans. And there's only like one Met fan that probably watches us, like my mom. Nah, she's not even a Met fan. She's a
My
Yankee
dad
fan.
tune in. He's a Met fan. I'll have him.
There you go. I knew that man was smart.
I'll have him tune on in.
Guys, it's baseball. It still sucks no matter what.
Boo.
Agreed.
American.
Well, I'm sorry.
Football
Agreed.
is much better. Football is a much better sport.
I love football.
Here's
Giant
what I
fan,
think about
Jet fan?
sports.
I'm a Jet fan.
Neither.
That fan. See, I knew my cat would make one appearance.
Hell
There
yeah.
we
I'm
go.
shocked he's not on my lap, but I knew he'd make it.
That was a softball toss up, and I let that joke go.
Yep.
Right by the way.
Yep.
I give him
Just
these
let it-
layups
just
for his
let
joke,
it go. I just let
and
it.
I do it all the time. And you would think I
Josh,
would learn by
and-
now to
and
not
it
just
just went out,
lay up
and,
these
you know, I'm just
wonderful
saying that that's like-
setups for him
that
to
was
make
like-
these jokes.
That was like pitching to a healthy Lou Gehrig and ask him not to swing. You just asked him not to swing.
To
Okay?
a
That's
healthy
what-
loser.
That was a good one.
And this is why we like working together.
And this is
got
what I do
that.
at closing, by the way. Look, this is.
No, like
I'm not joking. I mean, listen, we have good times at closings.
We
When you're at
do.
a closing table, I hate to see, when I started this, I started almost 12 years ago now. The somber mood in there. I was just signing paper. It
Yeah.
should be a happy moment.
It
You know,
should.
anything that happened, any kind of discrepancies, any walkthrough issues, I should have got a high price, I should have paid late. That should all be quelled right by the time you get to the table. Because here's why: regardless of the deal and the transaction, and getting to the table. Listen, we all work well. We're all going to get our clients to the table if they want to get there, right? And sometimes it's not about the goal, right? It's not about the client just getting to that period, whether they're selling or buying. It's about their experience. So if we can help during the process to make their experience as pleasurable as possible, because there's no matter what, you can't make everyone happy, right? But if we could work together, and again, and I kind of want to get to this next topic, but work all together. By the time we get to the table, it should be fun. There's no reason to sit there because guess
All
what?
those issues should have been dealt with before we got there. And
And guess what?
tensions could be high. Some people are,
Correct.
the first
Things
time
happen
buying
last minute.
home, or it's the biggest purchase of the majority of
yeah.
the population of their life. So, but I agree. Like we make closings fun. I bring cakes, I bring champagne. We laugh, we joke. It should be a
Booze.
happy.
Booze. Always booze.
People like it. Cake
Do
and
you
booze.
wear
I gotta
like
go, guys. I gotta go.
6-inch
Just-
clear stilettos?
I don't. I could factor that in though. I could.
He gets good tips at closings. So it's
Right.
funny.
Okay, there you go.
Now, I like doing closings. Not every title rep does, but I like being there with my client. God forbid
Yeah,
there's
no,
an
most
issue.
people are
I'm
just
there
like,
to,
I'm done with it. Bye. Yeah.
mitigate it immediately. But I
Mhm.
like being there in case something happens. So I do all my
And-
closing, my clients.
and the
Yeah, I
benefit
know.
of that-
Also, I was just
What?
gonna say, like, go ahead.
I thought Joe was saying so.
No, Rachel.
No, I was just gonna say, like, some agents don't even like going to closings, and they like literally just show up at the end to pick up their check, and I'm like,
That's it.
bro,
That's
that's
it.
Or
really
or not show
fucked.
up and want it FedEx.
Right.
That also
Like,
happens.
I like to show up. I show up on time. I'm there just in case,
Right.
anything
It
happens.
was
I
one
like to be
time I
supportive.
showed
Like,
up
hey,
late.
congrats. Like, hey, we sold your place, or hey, you just bought your place. Boom. Like, like you said, make it fun. But if we're not there, if we're only there to show up to pick up our paycheck, like, that's really fucked up. It's like
No,
kind of
I
like a slap in the
agree.
face.
It's nice to show. It's good to show face. It makes the client
Mhm.
feel good. So I think it's great. When
And-
the
and
realtors
with
and the
DP and the
brokers
rep-
come and show up at the table, just in case.
Mhm.
Show you're there for support. You've been there through the whole process. And a lot of realtors, they go above and beyond like you two.
Mhm.
And those are the ones that you want to work with. Those are the realtors we want to refer. The ones that go above and
I agree.
beyond. And then you
The one-
guys
the-
are definitely.
The ones that are
Those.
jumping in the last
That's right.
triage, the ones stuff like that to make it okay. The walkthrough went terrible. The bed and couch are still in that. You're there. You're working through it. You're taking control. You're taking that off. Some people just want to leave an attorney's plate. What do you want me to do? What do you want to do now? We're either going to get a credit or we're not. Right? That's the reality of it. Or are we going to walk away? We're not going to close now. That's the reality of it. I give it to how it is. I don't sugarcoat things. So either having a good realtor negotiate that price. That's the best we're going to do. Joe, make sure you got to fix this, Joe. Fix what? You're going to get a credit. You're not going to get a credit, or do you want to kill the deal at the last minute? But that's really it. There's nothing else that we can do. When realtors are involved and they are there at the table, they're helping so much, and they don't even realize how much they're
Yeah.
helping when they're there.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
and
I
Dan,
had a
your
closing
point.
where it almost like fell apart literally at the table because of something really, really stupid. And thanks, Joe, for not being there. Um, and
So, not
you
my
were,
closest
yeah,
kid.
yes, it was. You were supposed to be there. And the other attorney just went like ape shit over this. Like, and then our side was just like, what? Why are you going crazy? Like, this should happen. It should have been addressed. The other agent should have fucking fixed this. Like, but let's see what we can do. And he's like, we're not going to give you a $300 credit or whatever. And we're like, okay.
It's
And then
a
they come
good
back and they're
point
like,
that
okay,
you're
how
bringing
about
up,
this? And
though.
we're like, yeah, it's fine. You didn't need to make a whole stink out of it. It was just like,
I hate to
why?
say this, but
Why?
a lot of times, and Joe knows this, and I'm sure you guys have seen it because you just described it. A lot of times, sometimes it's not the client. Sometimes certain attorneys just like a fight when, like we were just saying, it should be this pleasant experience. And that's what it always is when we work together. But sometimes there are issues that are caused because I think some attorneys, especially litigators, they innately go in there thinking they have to fight, but you don't always. Some issues could be smoothed over pretty easily. And there's issues created that really weren't major issues. They were very minor. So I've seen that happen tons of times.
Yeah. And
Tons
then,
of
of
times.
course, people saying they're going to do something, they don't do it. Okay, now we got to fix it.
Yeah,
If you're not going to fix it, pay it.
that's it.
It's that simple.
It
It
really
is. And that's the importance of having, again, so especially when buyers sellers come to to the realtors. Oh, I'm gonna use my mother's attorney, she's an estate attorney. I'm gonna use my father's attorney, he does business law. And that's great. And they might be phenomenal at real estate, right? But hopefully they do practice real estate. That's the biggest thing I'm gonna say.
huge.
I've dealt with other attorneys who really that isn't their main practice. So not only does that slow down the process, it then puts a lot of pressure and weight on an attorney, whether it's me or another, or this, like to do that, not do their job. But, all right, Joe, hurry up. But why is it done yet? Well, because normally we would just do this, you initially and it comes back. But
Yeah,
you
and the
want me
title
to
company too. It puts a
you want me
lot
to
on
run?
us.
I'm in a closing. You want me to run back to my office, fix something that could be fixed by the other side, send it back? Like, this is why there's a delay, and there's only one me, and there's only so much of my staff, and there's only so much that we could do in a deal. And that's why I'm very honest with how I start the transactions is before I actually touch a contract, whether it's the draft or review. I call my realtors and we sit down. We know what's not sound. We get on the phone. We have a real conversation. Hey, guys, let's go through all this because I don't read minds. And even though you know the property very well, maybe not everything's listed here, right? Hey, if we're selling, is there a third bathroom we don't know about? Hey, is there an open permit that did we do it? Let's lay this out because if they're truly buying as is, and if the buyer really knows about certain things, I'm going to waive the requirements to get a CFO for this. I'm going to waive that. Great. But if I don't know that as a lawyer, I can't add that into a writer. And then all of a sudden now we get to the almost closing time. Now that's when all of a sudden maybe the buyer had a bad experience trying to get a mortgage, or they went to go do an inspection with their designer, and the designer said, "Oh, you can never do this here; it won't work." So now throughout the process, they get a little jaded. So now all of a sudden they might be spiteful. Wait, I never said I'm taking the bathroom this way. That's a title issue. I'm not closing now. I want $3,000 off. But everyone originally agreed without our knowledge, the lawyers' knowledge, this is okay. We're taking it that way. So if we could be upfront, put it on paper, we could now protect everyone. So no one can get selective amnesia a couple days before the closing.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden, I never knew that. Well, you did because you signed it. We went here, you initialed. And if that's not done that way, well, then guess what? Selective amnesia wins because then that buyer has a right to not close because title's not clean or there's a title issue. So that's why some like we like working together because I am that way. Some people don't. Some people want to push through. Get the contract out. Get the contract out. Get the contract out. Well, I can, but why don't we just do it right off the bat?
Absolutely.
So that forget about getting a contract. How about we get the contract, but then we actually close without a hiccup? How about that too? So I think that's also big, and that's why also knowing your team is also important because now this is all worked out. No one's guessing, and to Dee's point earlier, being a rep, but then also being there. So if something does pop up last minute.
Yeah.
She's a title clerk that's been working the deal the entire way, not a random title person showing up. So it's another quality that she provides that other companies don't, and it is awesome. It really is.
So I want to ask you guys because some of our viewers and listeners never bought a home before. So can you guys explain, what title is to people that may not know what it is and why they would need an attorney?
So title insurance is extremely important.
Hey, there's the other
There's
cat.
the other cat.
I knew they were both going to make an appearance, but at least they didn't jump up. So
It's
There's
fine.
it's
two?
extremely important.
You two?
I have
Mhm.
2. Yeah, 2 cats.
Wow. Well, okay. It's weird. Sorry.
And they're always at my butt.
That's
But
title.
title insurance is extremely important because it protects you when you're purchasing that property, that you own it you have a clean title. Nobody's going to come out of the woodworks and say, I actually own this house. If it came through an estate, there's no fight over ownership. There's no open mortgages. There's no open liens. There's no open taxes. It protects you to have that deed in your hand and say, I own this property. And then you're insured if there was ever an issue. If somebody came out of the woodwork, say, I'm actually an heir. I actually have ownership to this house. You're protected with that title insurance policy. So it's extremely important to have. And obviously in New York, an attorney is extremely important to have, but I think it's important to have in any state. I would never purchase a property without an attorney. I think it's so important to have that legal advice guiding you in this process because it is the largest purchase of your life in most circumstances. And having that attorney there who works with that title rep and they work together, and having that real estate agent who has that relationship with the title rep too, that they can reach out like, what's going on with title? That is so important to have that communication. And I communicate with all the agents on the transaction too. I'm like, my number is here. You can call me, text me whenever. I'll tell you what's going on. I'll explain title issues because they can be complicated. There could be things that pop up that you've never seen before on a transaction. And Joe can attest to that. Every situation.
I've seen it all, kid. I've seen it all.
We've seen a lot, put it that way. But you'll be shocked some issues that could come up. And sometimes title does take a lot longer to clear. And it's not necessarily because it's our fault. Sometimes we just don't get what we need from, let's say, the seller's attorney. Like, we need these documents to clear title. And if we're waiting for them, there's really nothing we could do essentially. But title insurance is a one-time premium. It's not like car insurance where you're paying every single month. It's not like home insurance where you're paying every single year. You pay it one time and it guarantees that you own that house clean free of any issues. And that's why it's extremely important. I think it's important for people buying a home to educate themselves on it because a lot of people just say, I really don't know what it is. I'll kind of just defer to the attorney, or I know I need it, but I don't not interested in really learning on how it protects me. And I think it's important to learn how it protects you.
Absolutely.
And indeed, that not only is it important for the buyers, I think it's also important when I say that with my sellers about type. Because some of my sellers, they bought 15 years ago, 20 years, right? So, or even some recent ones, 5 years ago, wasn't explained maybe all the way, or it was, but a lot of, and we all know this, at the beginning, sellers buy it. Everyone yeses us to death, right? Yes. You think they're listening, but they're not. But for the people that have owned properties for a long time, let's just use that as an example. Oh yeah, I got a title report. Yeah, blah, blah. So my first thing I do anytime is I have education. My first full contact with clients is education. After we sit down with you guys, it's education. I explain I give them the forest, right? And then we fill in the trees once there's a contract to go through. But even even with sellers, I explain title. Here's why. I say, listen, guys, I'm going to give you a couple scenarios. You got title back in the day. That's great. If you have the policy, please give it to me. Survey, of course. And I said, listen, things may pop up in this transaction, right? Oh, we're selling it as is, Joe. Nothing's going to happen. I'm not doing anything. Okay, that's fine. Maybe with the structure. But if there's a title issue, you're going to have to cure that. Otherwise, we're not closing. And let me tell you something before we get to that issue, if it ever arises. There's a fence in your backyard. There's no fence in my backyard, Joe. I don't have a backyard. It's a fucking example, guys. Listen. No, you have a fence in your backyard. You bought the house with a fence in your backyard. It comes back, title comes back, survey comes back. There was never a fence put. There was no permit for the fence. The fence is now on someone else's property. But Joe, I bought it this way. It's not my problem. I'm not fixing it. Well, it is. So I'm sorry if you bought it that way, and then your attorney and your title didn't do anything about that prior to your closing. But now you're responsible. You are the owner. You've inherited those issues. So again, that's why it's very important to have an attorney who's knowledgeable, but even more, a title company who's that involved, because title insures against so many things, but not against certain other things, right?
Mhm.
The looks at the things that aren't also insured against. That could be a problem for the buyer in a later time. So we're filling each other in. We're making sure that our buyers, when they become sellers, that's never a problem for them.
Yeah.
I bought it this way, but guess what? When I bought it that way, that seller got the permit. He closed out that he got the C of O. He paid the fine. And that's a major thing. And
That's a
like
good
Dean was
point.
saying, and like
Yeah,
Dean was saying with
you want
title,
to be able to sell that property and just say, I know my title's clean. We cleared up all of these issues. So that's a good
correct.
point. And there's even obviously in New York, the buyer and the buyer's attorney, usually chooses the title company. But there's a lot of states where actually the sellers and the seller's broker choose the title company because it's very important.
Yeah,
Well,
in a lot of states, there's not even attorneys in the process.
Nope, there's not.
Well,
New York
in
just
title
happens to be one
in
of those.
title-based states, it's a 37% chance post closing to have litigation over the transaction. In attorney-based states, I think it's like 6%, because that's again, there's more fiduciaries, there's more parties, there's more eyes on the transaction.
I think it's
Um,
extremely important to have an attorney involved, even if it's not an attorney state. I mean,
and
just
here's
consult with on all the legal issues. It's, and it's for the amount of money that you're spending to purchase that home, to hire an attorney just to make sure you're guided through that and you don't have any issues post closing. I think it's very important. I mean, I always recommend it, even in non-attorney states.
and here's what is important too. I'll make another quick point, like you're saying, how you're in communication with the realtors, also with the lender, right? The mortgage brokers and bankers. A lot of banks and lenders can close without what's called municipals. And whoever's listening, is some free education. Subscribe to my OnlyFans. So part of the title process is what's called municipals, and that's where you find out. That's where we get the C of O. Does the C of O match what the building or the property actually stands like? Does the C of O say 2 bedrooms, 2 bath? And then the property really is 3 bedrooms, 3 bath? Well, no, we know we have an issue, right? Is there a fence line issue? Is there a property line issue? Is there
Open permit.
open permits, violations,
Violations.
town ordinances? That. So a lot of bankers, a lot of lenders can close without that part of the report, right? So now, if you don't have a good communication, and with the title company not being able, not having good communication with the lender, and if you don't know how each other's works, well, now they're locking rates. They're not telling us. They just want to push the deal to the finish line. But that municipal report may take about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Now we're going to pass the rate lock. Everyone's going to say, "Well, Joe, but the bank says we can close. Well, why aren't we closing? Why aren't we closing?" Again, it's selective amnesia. Even though the education was given up front, now because there's money on the line, you know what I'm saying? So that communication up front and having a title company who could hop in on over me before I even get there. Title's back, but we're missing X, Y, and Z. Our buyer needs it. Joey's going to want it. So let's hold off on any kind of rate locks. It's backing each other up because we know how each other works. Or let's say it's
100%.
maybe a combination of us, 1, 2, and someone we don't know. The protection's even further now because D's helping me out. You're helping me out before I can even get there. I may be able to close them. Title comes in. Lender gets it. Says, great, good, lock rate. And now we're screwed.
Yeah.
And I didn't get a chance to look at it yet.
Well,
So we're backing each other up.
One of the things that I like about attorney states, because I'm originally from Florida, so it's just title. And
We all
I'm
can't be
also
perfect.
no, especially not Florida. And then like in hybrid states like Georgia, you have one attorney that usually represents the buyer, or neither. It's a weird place, but they still use and I say hybrid because they still use those written contracts by like the association of the state. And then so in states like that, like Florida, Georgia, and even Jersey has it. Then all of a sudden you have agents writing in special stipulations, and then they ask their broker, like, hey, I have this problem, and we need to put it into the purchase contract, and I don't know what to say. And then they're just like, oh, well, our attorney has said that you can use this. Okay, but that is like generic. And the entire contract is generic. Whereas, Joe, obviously you have a template that you start with, but then you
Have to.
customize it per the transaction.
Correct.
So,
with the rider. Yep.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like that is, I think, so much better
Yeah.
than, just getting like a, boilerplate. This is the same for every transaction in the entire state.
No.
And again, So even Nick, you said, so the first like 8 pages of a contract, right? Those are standard form contracts based on the real estate bar puts out. They have the fillable sections, but you're allowed to cross things out. But then our riders, that's where the riders come in. That's why there are riders. That's what I try to explain to clients. Is we take this, the basic contract. I think the last version is 2002, right? So, like something simple. The notice provision is and D would know this. The old way you send mail is like carrier pigeon, right? So now, there's no more carrier pigeons, there's emails. So we have to put that into like the notice provision in the rider. That was a joke about your age. I love you. Just joking. I don't get that.
I just let that one slide, Joe.
I know it gets to you. I know you don't like that, but I just had to throw it at you. What was I gonna say? But
Carrier pigeons.
That's why in New York though, that's why these riders, people are like, oh, why is the contract so long? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? Because we're not a form state, right? We're not, nothing wrong against title-based states, but again, even with the attorney review period, like you said, you got realtors taking this form, filling stuff in, and I'm not saying anything about realtors there, and a lot of them know more law and more stuff about real estate than I ever could right now, but a lot don't. And that's what that when I say things, I'm talking about
the majority.
The majority, not the minority, because there are a lot of talented, knowledgeable realtors, but that's a minority. That's the exception to the general rule. So the general rule is filling out these forms now. No idea what they're doing, and I don't know how. And again, this is why I call myself, I'm a humble Bronx lawyer. I don't know how in other states that's not the unauthorized practice of law because it's a legal document being executed. But whatever, that's being filled in based upon just a limited knowledge. So now there's no true attorney for either side. The attorney review period, I've seen those retainers. It's just they review the contract with the client, they tell them what it means, and their liability is then severed. So who doesn't care? $900. I'm reading it, and again, like we talked about earlier, everyone's at that yay stage. So everyone's yesing you to death. We're not hearing what the reality is, right? And guess what? Some of these lawyers and these other states, and I'm not saying that, I'm just saying who knows from things I've heard from clients who've reached back out to me from when they move out of state, they just read through it. This is what this means. It means this is A, B, C, D, E. You okay with that? Great. Not about the consequences, right? Because there's no liability. So now the liability is cut off on both attorneys. We have this standard form document that's piss fucking poor. The title agent is doing so much now because they're doing seller side, buyer side, they're closing, they're a settlement agent.
Settlement, yeah.
They're doing the best they can to make sure the title company is protected for the insurance. And then those parts that they don't insure against now fall on the buyer. So now, 10 days later, the bill department's coming knocking on the door saying, yeah, we've been sending notice letters here. That add-on you did? Well, here's the violation. It's $10,000.
Jesus.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I get it. But deals move quickly there. 6 out of 10 times, it's fine. In New York, 9 out of 10 times, it's fine. So,
and then one last thing I wanted to mention before you wrap up is, so I was talking about, there's agents that you can ask their broker for some guidance, right? And that broker may have hopefully asked an attorney for guidance. But what about the transactional brokerages, right? They have no support. They don't give any support. They just hire agents. A lot of times they're new agents and then just throw them into the wild. And then they're like, good luck. Figure it out.
The majority. The majority.
That's how most like agents start off, honestly. Like they didn't give me here's a tutorial on all this. It's just like, all right, go out there and like figure it out. And you know what? You meet some good people like yourselves that help like guide me through like the first couple deals, and you start learning a little bit more and you like pull. But yeah, that's the majority of like agents out there. Like they're not given the tools to absolutely succeed. And this is a PSA for everybody that's listening. This is why you have to come to Pinpointe, because at Pinpointe, we actually give you the tools to be successful, because we have guys like this that like join us and, educate us and will, wipe your little baby butt along that first deal to make you grown, and then you could like wipe your own ass.
That sounds.
We all learn from each
legal
other.
Disclaimer: I don't touch kids. There's no wiping of baby butts, or there's legal disclaimer. I don't know what that. I don't know what that means. I don't know what fucking P. Diddy party you went to, but I wasn't there. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Shit. And on that note,
This is
guys,
antibacterial, not
Wait, one
baby
last thing.
oil.
I knew he was there. Look, I knew he was fucking there. It's green. I fucking knew it.
he has cream there
I
too.
want to end. Can I say one last thing and I'll let everybody go? Because I wasn't
Sure.
there. Here's one last thing I want to say, just real quick, and it's for us and just for whoever's listening that may be in the field in the business. Here's what I'm going to say. You know, I know back in the day, I know there's how do I put this right? I'll say it the way I'm going to fucking say it. This is to me. So you go into any closing room, right? You go to any closing table. There's not a lot of attorneys you're looking at that are my age. I'm not young, but I'm not old. And when I say old, I don't mean
Definitely
like
not young.
old, but they're you know. If
I had to
someone's in
give
their
one back.
if someone's in their late 40s, you know, if an attorney, I'm talking about attorney wise, if the attorney's in their mid to late 40s, 50s, early 60s, that's not old, but they've been doing law for a long time, and they've been doing it their way for a long time. They've been doing it the way they only known for a long time. COVID changed a lot of things. The subprime boom, you know, there's a lot that happens, right? Lawyers used to get 1% of the deal, and this changed, that changed. And there was a lot of jadedness between lawyers, realtors, title companies, lenders. Everyone felt some type of way. To the lawyers listening, if you think you're not getting enough money, charge more. Guess what? Because if you're that good and your realtors respect you, they're not going to chop you down. They're going to want to make sure you get used. However, on top of that being stated and said, to the rest of the team, so to all my realtors out there, to all my loan officers, to all my title companies, do the huddle. Do the huddle with your lawyer. And what am I saying by that? Learn what each other does. Because we all do what we do very well. And we all know what we know. And we all think we know what we don't know. Right?
But we
'Cause
don't.
I don't know every aspect of a realtor's job. I don't know every aspect of title. I don't know every aspect of a lender's job. That's 90% of attorneys. I know more than the average bear because I've invested my time. I've invested my time to learn, right? Because when we could all sit down together and put the plan together, instead of saying rush to get the contract signed, hey guys, this is the deal. This is what we're looking at. All right, Alan, what do you think about this person? This is the president. Okay, so no, we're handling all that. Joe, this is, by the way, we know X, Y, and Z. We got to make sure that this goes in there. No, realtors, before you're going to take an offer, let me know. Or do we have to sell to buy? Does this buy have the capability to wait an extra 2 weeks if we go past the contract closing date? Because guess what? The reality is, we're going to take our money back. We don't want that. We want the house. So as long as we can have that real conversation with each other, then communicate it in a friendly manner, in a nice white glove service manner to our client, not to scare them, but to be real with them, our deals will go smoother. They will go faster, and they will get to that closing table without a hitch. Because bumps and bruises are on hitch. A hitch is, well, Joe, the seller, that there's no C of O for the entire third floor, and we just waived inspections and we're taking it as, well, when the fuck were you going to tell me? Because now we're week 6 into the contract. I just got the fucking title report, and now we're finding this out.
Yeah.
And now it's turmoil. But if we have that conversation up front, because we're all moving fast. This is a fast-paced business. Everything in our minds, we think, because I'm guilty of this. I am the most guilty of this. And this is why I've slowed down. Everything in my mind that I know about the deal, I think everyone else should know. I think I either said it, or when I was talking, what I said came out the right way. So if we slow down up front, we will push to that finish line so much faster.
Yep.
With that, God bless you. Walk in the light of Jesus. Josh, you're fucking behind on your fucking payments for my subscription. Honestly, you're $200 behind. Pay your bills.
Oh, man.
We'll put it on the pinpoint card.
D, I know your husband's a cop and my wife's probably watching. I'll see you later at the table.
Well,
I'm not even. My cat just was laying in the plant while you were getting
I'm sure.
speech
Keep
right
saying
now.
cat, D. Keep saying cat. Josh, please, one of you.
We'll get
I
flagged.
love you, Phil.
yeah, this
This has been fun, guys.
wild.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you guys so
Like,
much for
we have
for
to do
coming
it
on.
again for sure.
So
Definitely.
yeah, tell the people where they can find you.
You could find me, Danielle Volpe, New World Title, D Volpe at NUWORLD.com. I'm not going to give my cell phone, I guess I should have.
No, you can give
No,
out your
again,
LinkedIn, your
again, I
socials.
can
LinkedIn, Instagram.
Yes.
Or you can
That's-
reach me at my
that's a
cell.
first.
If any questions anybody has, 917-257-780.
All right, let's remember that. Oh, I already have that.
And Joe,
Joe.
contact info.
There you go.
What's your contact info, Joe?
No, how do they find you? Like, are you on the internet?
My
Okay,
guy
fair
Joe, I
enough.
feel you.
I love it.
Joey the Lawyer on Instagram.
I don't mind giving myself an out because that's my business line. That's my personal line. You call me, you're getting me. 914-774-0552. Email joe@hladkilaw.com. And of course, as we've all known and said numerous times, my OnlyFans.
Yes.
Rach, where can the
I'll be
people find us?
subscribing tonight.
Okay, on Instagram, we're at Pinpointe Group, LinkedIn at Pinpointe Group, our website, pinpoint.nyc. You can find me, Rachel Fiegler, on LinkedIn. Josh is also now on
I'm
LinkedIn.
on LinkedIn too. Josh is on LinkedIn.
Finally, they
Yeah.
pulled me into the office and forced me to be an adult. But
Good for
mostly,
you.
could find me outside in these streets, making these deals, meeting these people. Thank you guys. It was so much fun.
Thank you. I had so much fun.
Very
you guys are the best.
educational.
No, this was a great time. I'm so happy I was able to get on today. Josh, by the way, if you feel forced, you feel uncomfortable, you need the law. No, call Joey the Lawyer. I'm sorry, no.